She a little ratchet, yeah, but I'm still gonna smash it.
Hey, what's going down? It's your boy, the young boss hog, Natomas Slimm, and we're chopping up game today with Dr. Jeremy Johnson. Dr. Johnson, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
All right. Hi. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. I know you're busy working in hospitals and everybody quarantined, so of course we got to do this through video chat. You at your nice home and everything, but I brought you on because of course we're going through a pandemic, and there's people that have some questions of what's going on and how to keep themselves safe, and just more information about the coronavirus and everything. So just to start it off. First,
Mm-hmm.
what is this coronavirus? Like, where are we going through right now?
All right. Well, first of all, as a caveat, like anything I say right now should not reflect on the place where I work. They're all my
Okay.
opinions, and
Gotta
this
protect your money. I get it.
right, yeah. Infectious disease, not my specialty. I'm a family medicine trained doctor and going into family medicine, working in the emergency room right now, but. COVID-19 is basically a part of the coronavirus family. It is the rendition that came out in 2019. And I say came out in 2019 it doesn't mean somebody was in a factory trying to create this. It means that viruses evolve over time. And this is the one that happened to start infecting people in 2019.
All right, so coronavirus or COVID-19, like what's the difference? What's the difference from COVID-19 and coronavirus, or the novel coronavirus,
Mm-hmm.
as the
Right,
people
right.
would say? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? The novel coronavirus,
The
regular
novel, yeah.
people,
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19, nobody, like, what is this? What's the
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
difference
yeah.
between them all?
The novel coronavirus is the author that is writing the way this disease will spread. No, the novel just
Novel got a
means
good
new.
penmanship.
Yeah,
That's good penmanship right there. The novel's writing bars. That's what the
yeah,
novel's doing.
yeah. Scientifically, novel just means new. Like that just means like this is the new thing that's happening right now. COVID-19 describes the disease that's happening right now. So
Oh, okay. And then what? So is this like the 19th version of COVID?
no, it's just the year. It's 2019.
That's what the 19 means.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yo, I really thought, I was like, man, we had 19 of these, and it took the 19th time for us to go, yo, maybe we should shut things down.
No,
That's
we
the,
had no. Yeah, we had 2019 of these, and
okay, so COVID-19 just means this is the disease COVID that occurred in 2019.
right, yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's very simple. So people trying to, yeah, that's very simple. All right, so
Hmm.
in regards to COVID-19, why is this such a big deal? You know what I mean? Is this equivalent to the flu that some people are trying to say, or is it worse than the flu? Like, what makes this so different than other diseases that we have to do what we're doing right now and shelter in place?
Well, the difference is so yeah, we have the flu, which is caused by the influenza virus, and there's actually different flu strains that come out. You know, when we have the flu vaccine each year, it's attempting to predict which strain of the flu will go around and infect people. So the flu kills people too, and it affects at-risk communities as well. And part of the benefits of having a flu virus, I mean, not a flu virus, a flu vaccine is that it can help prevent the spread of the disease to at-risk populations. It's essentially the same thing that we're hoping for a coronavirus vaccine. But the thing that's different is that we don't have a vaccine for it. So we're essentially reduced to the measures that protect us, which are staying at home, preventing people from spreading the disease amongst each other, and saving these people in the at-risk populations.
Okay, so speaking of vaccines, we don't have one for COVID, but we do have one for influenza and other ones as well. So I just want to know. I mean, the people want to know as well. How long have you been working for Bill Gates, and why are you trying to kill everybody with vaccines?
Mm. As you know, I'm from Inglewood, and as a wee lad, Bill Gates came down the street and he saw me, and he just knew, this is my guy. This is my guy right here. Hey, let's go
I'm
get some
recruiting
vaccines
him.
going. Yeah,
That's the one. People are going to trust
yeah,
this guy.
yeah, yeah. Right by the Great Western Forum. I remember that day. It was
Magic was playing. This is about 95, 93.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. But no, but seriously, there's a lot of misconceptions about vaccines and if they're safe, if we should be getting them. So are vaccines safe? Is this something that we should be getting? Do they cause the problems that people say that they do?
Okay, so for one of the problems that people say they cause is autism, and that's based off of falsified research that the person that put out that research was disqualified from their degree because of it. So definitely
Well,
doesn't
that's
cause
only because
autism.
he was telling the truth. He was
No,
telling the truth, and they had to come down on him and take away his medical license because he was opening up the eyes so that people could
yeah,
see what's going on.
yeah. There's this conspiracy of the vaccine industry really wants to spread autism for some reason. Yeah. Uh,
I know what's the
no,
benefit
so
of that? What would be the benefit of spreading
what would be the
autism
benefit? What would
vaccines?
be the benefit of giving people vaccines to kill them off? Like it's like I don't understand like the real goal of that. Some people like they think okay, well, there's this goal of mind control or whatever it is, but at the same time, it's like there's no way to convince people that are on that level of conspiracy that that's not what's happening. Like that's
Hmm.
some extreme stuff right there. But vaccines are safe. There are some populations that vaccines aren't safe for. These are people that have different genetic conditions. They are immune compromised. And that's the reason why vaccines are promoted even more is because when healthy people get vaccines, it protects those people because we want to prevent the diseases from reaching those people as well. And the vaccines that are created have essentially been created because the viruses that they're protecting, the bacteria that they're protecting us from, are protecting us from things that basically wreaked havoc in the past, and we didn't have anything to protect us from it. So you think of like smallpox, things like that. I mean, that's eradicated now, but it's because we had to come up with something for it.
That is a good point. So you would if you're healthy, you would recommend people to get vaccinated.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, my
yeah. I
my
think
thing
that.
always. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Johnson.
No, I was just going to say if a person is immune compromised, like they have some type of disease that gives them a weaker immune system, then those are the people that usually they know that they have a weaker immune system, and those are the people that you know, based on their doctor's conversation with them, they can make the decision.
Yeah, see, my thing with vaccines always, I'm like my homies. I got homies that don't believe in vaccines, think that it gives you this, it's just killing you and stuff. I'm like, all of us got vaccines. All of our
I know.
parents did. All of our brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Like all of our brothers and sisters did, and there's nothing wrong with us. I was like, all
Right.
your homies got vaccines. You did
Yeah.
as well. Why are
Yeah.
you okay? Why are we okay? Why
With
is
their
your home?
kids, they like, no, my kid's not going to get this because I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's going
don't,
to be
I don't,
something
I
different.
don't get it because I'm like, but then some people say the vaccines are stronger now than they were when we've got them, and for some reason I never seen anything stronger now besides weed than back in the day.
No comment.
That's back in the day, 'cause alcohol's not even stronger now. Back in the day,
Right. Yeah.
alcohol you were really drinking rubbing alcohol, and now they
Oh
watered
yeah.
they
That
watered
thousand
it.
proof.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, some people they're not just. It's hard to get them out of there. It's also the 5G thing where
Hmm.
5G is causing this COVID-19
Yep.
as well. Am I
Yep.
am I correct?
5G.
Because you're
We
working
got.
for the
I mean,
communications people as well. You're on their
who?
payroll. The
Who?
communications AT&T, Verizon. You're on their payroll, right?
Who told you that? No, see, we got the 4G, 5G net. Then come to 6G. We're trying to get to 10, and then that's when things really about to go down. Y'all
That's when
all
New
gonna be
World
walking
Order takes
around like
over.
yeah.
No, it's just so many conspiracies out there in regards to medicine in general. But I mean, in general, there are reasons for people to be hesitant,
Definitely,
especially black people.
definitely,
You know what I mean?
yep.
Especially black folks. We don't have a good rapport with any type of system.
Yeah, I mean, with any system, first of all, brought over here as slaves, no reason to believe or trust a system that was built on our backs of just free labor, killing, raping, pillaging. Like, there's no reason to trust any system that's brought up from that. Uh, And it's not just the slavery. In medicine specifically, like the way that gynecologic advancements were made were off of the backs essentially of Black women. We had the Tuskegee experiment where essentially a disease wasn't created for Black people, but it was allowed to run through a Black community just to see what would happen, just to see what happens when this disease basically progresses and come up with, medical advances because of that. So because of that, we have an understandable distrust of the medical community, but at the same time, the medical advancements that were made from us, essentially, we don't benefit from as much because of that distrust. So we delay care and end up with more at-risk conditions. We end up with worse chronic disease, not just because of delayed care, but also because of how that system impacts us in other ways. Our education, like this, our high schools are set up to not teach us what we need to know. It's set up to be shut down. You got schools out here getting shut down. So our underprivileged people in our community that have tax dollars associated with them go to the white schools. The tax dollars follow into their community. It's just a system that's set up essentially not for us, but that's not to say that medicine in general doesn't have something for us.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the reasons why you got into the medical field, right?
Definitely.
So you could be that face and have that knowledge that people could relate to, and you give them, the information that they actually need and deserve.
Right. I mean, I like to tell the story of this conversation in this barbershop back in LA where we were It was essentially a conversation about distrust in the medical community, the medical industry. And like my only retort was like, well, if you come down with like syphilis, gonorrhea, whatever, like you're not going to take some turmeric to fix that. You're going to go and get whatever medicine was created for that. You're not going to trust the turmeric.
Oh, that is true, boy. You're not over here taking herbs to get rid of an itch.
No.
Not at all. But but like you said, there is reasoning for us to be hesitant of it, careful of it. But my other question is, why is COVID affecting the Black community more than anybody else?
It's essentially all those reasons that we were just talking about. If you think of a system that is set up for us to basically have more at-risk conditions, so living in food deserts where we don't have access to healthier foods, I mean, just slavery in general, where we were making meals out of the scraps and then have these essentially, I won't say everybody's eating unhealthy, but the diet is not constructed to be a healthy diet. Soul food in general is not always a healthy diet. Mm-hmm. And the distrust in the medical community where we delay care sometimes. And then there's also the subconscious of the healthcare provider. So we know that women that are going into deliver babies for some reason are having worse outcomes. Patients that are Black or people of color in general, they come in and are reporting pain. They don't get the pain medications at the same rate that white patients get those pain medications. So there's a number of reasons why we end up with worse outcomes and end up with these at-risk conditions. But that's not to say that we shouldn't go in to get care, because you should seek out a person that you can perceive as trying to do their best to try to help you. So
yeah, no, I mean, that's true, because I know I found out that I was on the verge of getting high blood pressure. And if I never went in to get checked out, I would never know that I was on the verge of getting high blood pressure. I would have got high blood pressure and it would have just tacked on from there to there to there. Then the last minute I would have been like, yo, help me. Exactly. And I could have helped myself, years ago if I just got checked up. But then again, like you said, sometimes you go inside there, you want to get checked up. They're not believing what you're saying. They push you out the door and you're like, this is the reason why I don't go to the doctor.
Right. But it's the same thing. Like that's a great example. You with that pre-high blood pressure state that you were in, if you would have lived with that high blood pressure for years and years, that's the setup for a heart attack. That's the setup for stroke. That's the setup for a whole lot of worse outcomes. But because you happen to come across somebody that mentioned it to you. Like I do come across some patients that are like, oh, I didn't know this. And it's not to say that they weren't told that before, but sometimes, it depends on the person that you see. So I would just say, don't give up. Like if the first person you come into contact with isn't giving you the care you think you deserve, you can seek out another person, another professional.
Yeah, that's true. And I always say to people too, stand your ground if there's something that you want. If you want to get X-rays, if you want to get your blood pressure checked, and they're like, "Oh, you don't need it," you can always be like, "Yes, I do. I want it. Give it to me." And sometimes you just got to be forceful with it
Yeah, yeah.
and let them know.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, this person should be able to line in detail all the reasons why they think, oh, this won't change what we're doing right now.
Mm.
Like if a person is coming in and saying like, oh, I scraped my toe, I need an X-ray, then that's something else. But that's not to say that people like you. You essentially do have to stand up for yourself and know, like, hey, something's going on with me. I need somebody to check me out and see what's going on.
That is good to know. So, Jeremy, you're black, obviously. If you didn't know, I'm going to inform you right now that you are a black man. And there's not a lot of black people in the medical field. So
Right.
How is it being a black person in a field that a few?
Right. It does have its difficult aspects to it. Part of it is not seeing few faces that do look like you. I benefit from being in California, so I love being around the people that I do get to see when I do get to see them. In medical school, I was the only black male in my class, so we need more. The real thing to look out for is what I will say is I was stubborn and just kept pushing to become a doctor, and the way we're talking about how the system is set up, like there are counselors out there that will tell you the wrong thing and they will discourage you and say this isn't for you, you can't do it. And I'm gonna say you just got to keep doing it. You got to keep pushing because you can do it.
Got to keep grinding. Got to
Yeah.
keep grinding. But I mean, another thing is too, with just black folks' apprehension of the medical field. If we have more black people in it, maybe that
Oh, definitely.
maybe we wouldn't be so hesitant. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll be more trustworthy of it because we got people in there that look like us, understand us, came from the same place as us, and everything
Right.
else like that.
Definitely. I mean, and it's also it's like we were talking about before, like starting this conversation right now. It's like you walk around, you see another black person, you give them a head nod, they give you a head nod back. There's this unspoken language that we understand amongst each other. And when you get a patient, when I get a patient that's black, that's just, the same is true. It's like when they say certain things, then for the most part, I can understand something that they're saying that another person won't understand. And that's
Mhm.
why having more of us in the medical field benefits not only on those one-to-one encounters, but because more doctors get to interact with black doctors and get to understand a little bit more. Oh, this is what that person was saying.
So you're basically teaching other doctors as well while you inadvertently, you know what I mean, indirectly.
I think that's the truth for. I mean, the same goes the opposite direction. I mean, when I'm working with uh, a Native American doctor, or when I'm working with a Southeast Asian doctor, there are different things that we all have to offer each other, and that's just the nature of diversity. To have all those people represented basically gives the ability to understand, or at least the ability to ask the right questions or try to understand where this other person is coming from.
Yeah, get to get a deeper understanding of different cultures and be able to work with them on their level. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I
Right.
feel like that's a good thing. Well, uh, uh, let me talk a little bit more about this COVID-19, the pandemic
Mhm.
that we're going through. So, is it cool to go outside, take a walk? Because there's some people who quarantine themselves inside their house, like I'm not leaving. There's other people who are just, jogging, and there's some people who are rushing to the beach and like, F it. I'm I'm doing me. You know what I mean? Like, so what's the
There are levels. There are
yeah,
levels. Yeah.
what's the good median? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
what's a good thing? Is it cool for me to go outside?
Well, okay. So I'll put it this way. This is the thing. So it is cool to go outside. If everybody's going outside, then there's not going to be that 6 feet distance. So that's the main thing, is that this virus is spread for the most part through droplets. That means like your snot, your spit, whatever, you touch your face, and then you get the disease that way. So that 6 feet distance is essentially what we understand is to be the best distance to prevent that disease from spreading. And going outside is healthy. It's mentally healthy to go outside, get a little bit of sunlight, breathe a little, walk a little, get a little bit of exercise. But the real thing is to make sure that you're still keeping that distance from other people because, you come into contact with somebody else, they came into contact with somebody else too, and that's the way diseases spread.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Should we be wearing masks?
Yeah.
I mean, what is wearing masks? You know, I mean, there's some people that say, "Oh, wearing a mask is not going to stop you from getting the disease." Like if you have it on, say I have it on, you don't have it on, you sneeze, you have it, my mask ain't going to protect me.
Right.
Is that true?
Essentially, yeah. I just gave you the disease in that scenario. It depends on what type of mask you have. The goal of having everyone wear a mask is because it's the same thing as trying to get healthy people to stay home. You're protecting other people from getting this disease so it doesn't spread around. Wearing a mask, if both people are wearing a mask, they're both not spreading it to each other. I had one person that had the cough. They took their mask off to cough. Like you keep the mask on because you're protecting other people by wearing the mask.
Why would you do that?
I have no idea.
Hold on. Oh, good. That was a close one.
If you have an N95, that's different. If you have an N95, it fits correctly. You don't have a beard just like puffed out to where the air is coming in behind it. Like there's ways to wear a mask appropriately and to protect yourself from disease. But wearing a mask like a cloth mask or just a surgical mask, that's essentially to protect other people from getting the disease.
Okay, so it protects other folks. So if we all have it, we're all protecting everybody.
Exactly.
All right, man. We got to look out for
a caveat. There's a caveat because when you're wearing a mask, sometimes there's a greater inkling to touch your face, to reach for the mask and things like that. And we subconsciously reach for our face sometimes. And that's the other thing that you want to try to decrease is because you're touching different objects, you're touching doors, you're going in and out of certain places. You touch your face after that, then you got whatever you were touching. So
that's true too. And then you touch your mask and take it off. Once you put your mask back on, you're touching it again. So now your hands are dirty again. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that goes on to there, but it's still good to wear a mask if you're aware of not touching your face and stuff.
It's the same thing with gloves. Like you touching all these different things with gloves, you got to be aware. Okay, I can't touch my face with these gloves. I have to properly dispose of them. Wash my hands. You try to wash your hands a little bit more frequently. That prevents the spread of different things as well.
And hand sanitizer is cool too, right?
Hand sanitizer is good, yeah.
Okay, for sure. But washing the hands is better.
Washing the hands is better. You dilute whatever is on your hand. You wash whatever is on your hand as well. So it gets off of your hands. That's a lot better than just trying to kill whatever is on your hand or with the hand sanitizers because it's still there. But hopefully it's broken down because of the sanitizer.
So with all that, then I should inject myself with bleach then, right?
It depends on if I like you or not. That's the quickest way to get some medical care. Inject yourself with bleach. You will be in the emergency room. Yeah.
So I shouldn't be trying to cleanse my body with any type of disinfectant.
Nobody. Yeah. Don't inject yourself with anything, first of all, but definitely not bleach. Unless you got diabetes and need some insulin or something like that. Yeah, don't.
Okay. Well, that's from a doctor right there, people. Don't inject yourself with bleach. All right. Don't do that. It's not safe. Well, Dr. Johnson. Oh, gosh. Dr. Johnson, I ain't got any more questions. I definitely appreciate you coming on. If there's any other tidbits that you want to leave the people with about this COVID-19, this pandemic that, that could keep them safe or just some food for thought for them, just let us know what you got.
I think the main thing is that, so right now, since the beginning, the main thing has been like, we need testing. We need to see who has the disease and who doesn't have the disease. And to do that, either somebody shows up sick and they get tested, or we test everybody and we get a better understanding who has it, who needs to stay isolated. Sometimes there's this false reassurance that you get tested and it comes back negative. And there are possibilities to have a falsely negative test. If you're still feeling okay, then that's okay. But that's to say that just because a test comes back negative. That's more in the early days when we're testing differently. The tests were being rampantly increased, and the ways that we were testing were different. Now we know that testing through the nose is a little bit better. We have testing that's a little more effective, but there's a possibility of getting a false negative. Once you get a negative test, also, it doesn't mean that you can't get the disease. You're still at risk of getting the disease.
It's like an STD. Just because you got a clean slate don't mean you can still go out there raw dogging people. You can still get something.
Yeah. No. You heard it here first. Yeah.
Don't go around raw dogging people and don't think because you tested negative for COVID, you can't get it. That's coming from a doctor right there, y'all. Well, Dr. Johnson, man, I definitely really do appreciate you coming on with your insight and everything. This is some good information that we have. And, I want to let the people know that this ain't going to be forever. It ain't. This is going to end soon. And we'll be all back to out there raw dogging people. Okay. So be good, folks.
Right. I mean, it's okay to have the conspiracies, to question things, especially in a system that was created the way it was created. But when we're in this environment right now, it's not hard to stay home. It's not hard to be with your family and just, stay a little bit distant, do the Zoom video calls or whatever type of group calls you're doing, just to stay safe in the meantime until this calms down. And then we can ask all the questions we want to figure out what the truth is.
That's good. That's a good point right there. Dr. Johnson, once again, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, y'all, we're out of here. Thank you so much for Chopping Up Game with Natomas Slimm. We out.
She a little ratchet, yeah, but I'm still gonna smash it.